is there certain types of videos that you like don't like shooting? Like, man, like I'm like I don't want drugs in the video. Like are you a stickler about something?
No, the trashier the better for me, honestly. But
Really?
yeah, I don't really care. I'm Jake Huber. I'm a director and producer in Indianapolis. This is What's Your Hustle podcast.
What's your hustle? What do you do? Here to bring money and attention to you. A lot of people want to know, you gotta give them the truth. Here to run the numbers up, we about to go through the roof. What's your hustle? What's your hustle? Here to talk about your grind, how you spend your time. We done brought you to the show, you gotta speak what's on your mind. What's your hustle? What's your hustle? What's your hustle? What's your hustle?
Welcome back to the What's Your Hustle podcast, and today we got a special guest. I always say special guest, but I mean he is a special guest. I mean we got Jake. I don't want to butcher his last name because I'm just saying it one way and come to find out he's like, nah, bro, it's not really that. So I'm not even gonna say his last name.
Huber.
It's Jake Huber. Yeah, we got Jake Huber, and I've been looking up to him for a long time, especially in regards to video productions. And I mean, he's just dope at what he do. You know, when you look on social media, his brand, he's just like doing the set design. He's working on TV shows and so forth. He just does it. He just does it real big, and you know, it's been one of my goals to just actually meet him, and it's what better way to actually do it on the podcast. So
now we're doing it right now.
Jake, before we get started on the podcast, let everybody know where they can find you at.
You can follow me on Instagram at _ JAKEHUBER _. And then I also have my company, TotalFunProductions.com. You can hit that up and see music videos I've done. I'm on YouTube under Jake Huber, and you can see my director's reels. And I don't know, I'm mostly active on Instagram, so hit me up on there.
So Jake, you don't primarily do music videos, but I didn't even know that you worked on a TV show. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I just thought all you did was music videos, like set design. Because every time I would see you post something on social media, it's always like just big set designs, looking for a warehouse or ice cream truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I'm still looking for the ice cream truck.
You still looking for ice cream?
Yeah, if you got a plug, let me know, because I'm dying out here. I can't even find one.
I know somebody in South Bend. I don't know anybody in Indy.
Still. Give me their info. I don't even care at this point.
Yeah, that's how bad you need the ice cream truck. Huh?
I know.
What type of video is it? Who's the artist? It's an artist.
It's a dude who goes by the name Lil Toe. He's out of Miami, or actually he's more south of Miami, but he's this internet famous rapper. He does a lot of YouTube skits and stuff like that, but he also just makes this trap music on the side, and that's how I got famous. And so he reached out to me on Instagram a couple years ago, 2019, and we did a video here called TikTok, where we did an all gold set. We had this girl who was naked, but we painted her all gold, and that was the highlight. That was the main shot of the whole video, and so people freaked out about that. And he's just he's also just a good dude. He's always very positive, funny. He's creative. He knows how to work a camera on his own, because a lot of artists nowadays skip that first step of finding a videographer because of prices, and they get their own camera and do it themselves. And he was one of those people who did that. So
wow.
Yeah, but now he's getting millions of views and got kind of internet famous, So.
And so when he reached out to you, did he have a decent budget, or how?
Yeah, he had a decent budget. He flew he's I'll fly myself out if we can get this, and this, and that was the case. He flew himself out, put himself up, and the money it would have cost for all that was put into the video, so that paid for the whole day. We did everything in an entire day. Yeah.
So how do you go about pulling off these videos? Because all of this stuff seems intricate to what you do.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that I stand out in Indiana, just in general. because like I don't want to be that person that just wants to just pop around town doing run and gun stuff. There's plenty of people who do that already, and that's how everybody gets their start, and I have much respect for that, but I just didn't want to be like categorized with those people. So I needed to be that person that made a one-of-a-kind video for an artist that once the video's done, the set's torn apart, everything's thrown away, returned, destroyed, whatever, and that's that. And then, you know, so nobody else can like do what I do and make a video that looks the same.
No, definitely. Nobody can definitely replicate like what you do. What you do is unique. I'm glad that you set yourself apart, because I mean, you basically set, I mean, if anybody that's paying attention, I mean, you basically set a standard. You know what I mean? Like, so seeing you was like, it's like, for me, it's like, man, if I'm gonna shoot a music video, I mean, it need to be like Jake Hupper stuff. Like, like no lie, like you was the one that inspired me to like start getting into like set designs. And
sure.
Like I'll show you like, you know, the video that I've done, but nothing like what you did. But that's a lot of that's mainly because some of the artists that I was working with just didn't have a budget. But a lot of that stuff, I would take that money out of my pocket to make the video better. And you do this, and you do the same thing. I'm sure too. So
yeah, I think a big thing is that if you want to like really flex on a video, you need to at least set some money aside yourself and throw it down and do something unique. Whether it's buying a prop or hiring more crew or do something, just so like you can obviously document it. You know, so you're like, oh, here's the set build, do a little time lapse of it, do some BTS video, so people like see, oh, I want Cory to do my video. Look at all he does. He has these people like putting up these wall flats. He has this guy doing all the lights. Like all that like goes a long way. You know, even if it takes like a year or a couple months. Like artists who are researching people that want to like hire a person to direct your video, they're gonna like really appreciate all the work that goes into what you do. You know.
Man, I know, like I said, I definitely appreciate all of the hard work and stuff that you do. Like, it's just truly inspiring, you know, because it's just motivation. Because I know personally, it just caused me to like, you know what, if I'm gonna do this, we gotta do this at a better level. You know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't for like people like you and you know, like Jimmy Ball. Man, I wouldn't have nothing to ascribe to. Like, and the thing that made it so relatable was like these guys is like Indiana, like they touchable. Like I can reach out, I can talk to them, I can ask questions. You know, we come from the same kind of place, and if they can do it and work with those type of artists and put out that type of quality and that type of content, then I should be able to do it too.
So like what I love about Jimmy, I've never met him. We talked on the phone. I think we FaceTime one time. But when he made his move to Atlanta, he had to really hustle. Like anybody who makes that move, whether you're an artist or in the video world, like you're a dime a dozen out there. There's so many things happening and you're not guaranteed a job, you know? It's just a hub of creative amazingness. So Jimmy earns my like respect forever because like he like does his thing out there, but then he also documents him like in vlog style, selfie mode, whatever, of like his LUTs he makes, that his like coloring that he puts over all of his videos, the lights he uses, the lenses he uses, like editing techniques. He does everything to show like how he like actually makes the brands that he works with like flourish and have like really good like BTS videos. And so like that's something I don't see a lot of people doing, and so he's awesome for doing that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work to do that behind the scenes stuff.
For sure.
I know me personally, like I get like I've tried to do it before. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do it now, and it has gotten easier. But in the beginning, it's hard. You know, like you trying to set up this and stuff not going right, and the last thing you want to do is have a doggone camera pointed in your face while you working. Yeah. You know, so yeah, I'm with you. I take my hats off to Jimmy for doing that. Like Jimmy, you know, I respect him within this field. Heck, he was the first episode that I dropped. Jimmy, number one, you know. So yeah. So.
And Jimmy, make sure to hire me and Cory when you get famous. All right.
Yeah, you heard it.
Yeah,
you
heard it here now.
Yeah, we want you to hire us.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be together.
There we go.
Yeah, fact. But so when it comes to being an entrepreneur and especially with video, like what's some of the challenges that you face, especially like in the beginning?
I would say more on an investor level. It's like, do I want to invest in my treatment on this artist, or do I want to invest in the artist myself? And so I take a big part in doing that by when I first moved back to Indianapolis, when I graduated, I would go to shows. I go to all sorts of genres, but mostly hip hop shows. And I was like, all right, these are the top rappers that I like seeing the most. And then that's when I started. I just started from person 1 all the way to person 5. I was like, you know what? I like this song a lot from the album. Let me invest in this. And so I spent pretty much 4 years just putting my own money into people I like's videos and documenting at the same time to build a portfolio.
So you did the behind the scenes guy, like having
some of them I shot my own BTS. Others I had people who saw what I was doing and volunteered their time. There's people I've hired. I've done a little bit of everything. Nowadays I have these really 2 awesome dudes from Kokomo, Foursquare Films, Dom and Juan, and they always show up and they give me a recap within like a day, and it's amazing.
That's what's up. It's hard to find people who can have a good work ethic and put out quality. But you said in the beginning you financing these videos.
Mm-hmm.
So why not make I get it's a lot of artists whose music I like. Not enough to like do what you do.
For sure.
So like
it's made the goal of mine. I have like a set of personal goals that I made just personally, just for my own soul. And I'm just like, I'm gonna, build a director's reel, or just a portfolio of, build music videos. And I did that within like a couple years. Nowadays, I don't do anything that isn't paid for already. But that took pretty much like almost 5 years to do that. So it's definitely a big time investment, and you can apply that kind of mindset to anything. If you're like trying to like save up for a house, if you're trying to put money in the stock market, stuff like that, you just have to like spend a couple years doing that. And that's what I did, but I did it for music videos. I did it for the Indianapolis music scene very much.
So then you got to be heavily respected within Indianapolis and in the music community for the impact and things that you have done.
Or at least, yeah, for the most part, yeah. I besides doing that, like I'm always the first call whenever there's like a music festival going on. I made my own music series for the Electric Bus Line in Indianapolis, and it won an Emmy, and it's been nominated for 4 Emmys. And yeah, thank you. And then it's up for more this year. And I just try to do what I did, but in a more real like live music realm, to like document more artists in town. I like to do pretty much hip hop videos. And with that, I do the set builds, stuff like that. But when it comes to my series, Music in Transit, I try to like focus on the more like rock bands, punk bands, jazz bands, or like solo musicians. And just trying to cover all ground, pretty much, just because I want to make sure that every like indie artist has a voice through some sort of platform. Any press is good press.
Man, that's dope. I mean,
yeah.
What you're doing, you pretty much finding your own way to give back.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, don't do that. People are selfish, and you definitely don't sound like a selfish individual.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome, man. So the bus series, I thought that I was thinking like that was something like you was hired for or something, but this is something like this is what you created, came up with. Yeah,
we did. We finished our 3rd season of it, and the very first season, we got paid for it, and we tried to promote the electric bus line series. And then COVID hit, all the money's lost. COVID's still around, the money's still lost, so it became like a thing that we like either did for free or we fundraised. And so we've been doing that just to keep it going. Really, that's all it is.
Man, it sounds like you real good at fundraising. It seems like you don't let funds or money stop you from getting your dreams out.
Yeah, I tried my best to keep it going no matter what. You reached out to me originally because you liked the game show set that I did, and that was a fundraise thing where I just made a link on like a crowdfunding kind of website, and I was just like, hey, I'm just trying to take the next big step in my career. I want to build a set. I want to show what I can do, and a lot of people backed me up on it. And so like a big chunk of that got used to like build that game show set, and it's been well received. It won a couple awards, and then it's obviously helped the artist Poindexter. You know, whenever you like research him, he has this like super badass music video that like makes absolutely no sense. Giant game show. The song's like a minute 50 seconds. It's like it's kind of crazy. So all that money goes into like that short little video. But I use that whole set. I made a spec ad just so I can try to like tell like investors or people who bid on my stuff that I can do like an advertisement if I really wanted to. I utilize it in multiple ways, but I really wanted to do like a high-end music video and get it documented the proper way.
So what goes into actually producing a high-end music video, like what you do, like break down the steps from like
For sure.
beginning to like deliverable?
So I'll hit up an artist, or an artist hit me up and say I have the song, and I will come up with a treatment. And if the treatment is agreed upon, either it's agreed upon or the artist's like, whatever you want to do, we'll do it. And we'll do that treatment. We'll hire, first I act as a producer, which involves the location scouting, the hiring of crew, the management of money, and everything in between. And then I'll hire a director of photography, who will be the person who shoots the video. They hire their own camera department. They hire their own grip and electric department, and who handles all the lighting, all the electric, all the stands, everything, all the rigging of lights. And then an art director, who will be the person who designs the set and then either sources a company or a carpenter to build the set. And then from there, it takes about 3 to 5 days to build the set, and then a day to shoot the whole video, usually. Yeah.
And you pull all those people together.
Mm-hmm. All those people are my friends. Everybody who works in my crew are like good friends of mine.
Man, that's amazing. So you employing your friends technically.
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing.
Either people are employed or they just work for the pure joy of it. You know, music video rates either are nearly nothing, or they're pretty much like not similar to commercial or like freelance rates at all. So it's more so like these people can do this stuff and then they can have the footage and use it to like book other work. Say if they want to move to Atlanta, move to New York, LA, stuff like that, they have these credits and they have this footage to say like what they've done, which is like, it sucks because like, you know, there's people in other states that can handle these like crazy budgets, but this is not here. But I want to prove that people here can make what's happening there happen, you know, locally. So
man, that's just amazing.
It's a lot to digest. It definitely is.
I don't know how you do all like how do you like manage like a crew like that to make sure like it gets all done?
Mostly off trust, you know. A lot of things I'm not particular about, you know, when it comes like lighting or type of lens we use, stuff like that. Like you have to have a lot of trust in like the people you hire to like do what they think's best and go with it, you know. And it goes a lot with that, you know. A lot of these things, especially if there's no money involved, like if somebody's in charge of the lighting and they're not getting paid for it, if someone's shooting it and not getting paid for it, like their take or their like say on what looks best will be what happens, you know. You can't really argue with that. You have a camera guy showing up with their whole camera package, with a cart full of stuff, lenses, everything you ever need. Like you're not gonna like tell them no because you don't like their idea, you know. You're gonna like work together and figure out a middle ground, you know. And so it goes with every department, you know.
What type of mindset would you say a person will have to have in order to do what you do?
Someone who's eager to build themselves up as a person. You really have to, nowadays, you have to really brand yourself if you're a freelancer. And, you know, Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media you use, like having that content that shows that you're actively working, actively doing stuff, that's super important, especially if somebody's like seeking out a person like yourself to hire, you know. They don't want to see somebody that their last post was like in 2018 doing something. They want to see Cory on set, you know, rigging up a light 2 weeks ago, you know, and like being like, all right, this person knows what they're doing.
So it's important to then stay working and staying busy and putting out that kind of
Yeah, even if it's not your own thing or even if it's not a thing at all, just like testing out your lights on something, like, you know, hanging out with the kids and doing some like cool montage on your cameras, testing out the features of the Blackmagic, color grading your own footage. There's so many things you can do that can just like, it's just an Instagram post away from just like making you look like you're active and you're doing stuff, what you need to be doing, you know.
Right. So do you use the same DPs all the time, or do that?
No, I have a lot of good friends that just different videos, and between like people and availability, it always changes. A couple of my big videos I've done, I've had my buddy Alex Falker do, who's my coworker, and other than that, like I use local DPs in town. My buddy Joe Saylor, Adam Oppenheim, all these people that are just like super talented behind the camera and they can make anything happen with the right people, you know.
So with all of the music videos that you have done throughout the years, you always hired a DP to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it important to hire a DP? Why not do it yourself then? 'Cause you talented within that area. So.
It's too many things going on at once. You can't do everything at once because you're gonna forget something and then you're gonna regret it later. You know, it's better to put your trust into a lighting person, a camera person, and then focus on directing. You know, making sure you got all the shots you need and making sure that the vision that you had is actually happening in front of you, instead of like putting up a stand here and running around plugging this in. You're gonna like lose. You're gonna be like in tunnel vision mode, and you're just gonna like, you know, lose interest in what's going on because you're just stressed.
So have you ever been stressed on set before?
100%. I'm stressed all the time, but I think people work best under stress, but not too much stress. But yeah, definitely been like on some shoots that have been skeleton crew that have been like super stressful, but you just have to overcome that and then make it work. But there'll definitely be a time or two where stress takes over and you like review your footage or you're doing the edit and you're like, oh man, I forgot this, forgot that. So, and that's why you make sure you hire the right amount of people so like you don't have to deal with that ever again.
So, man, it's funny because I never really heard too many directors talk about, you know, video production from the standpoint of what you're talking about. It's like, you know, you sharing the wealth, giving people opportunities and not doing all the work, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of directors out there who are trying to do like everything themselves. And it's rough to be the gaffer, the audio, the DP, the assistant. I mean, and like you say, something's getting missed. I remember a lot of times, especially when you work with artists with like small budgets and you guerrilla style, and it's like, man, something gets missed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Footage gets lost, lens gets left. I mean, a chord. I mean, it's just always little small things that just come up. So my hats off to you for actually putting together a whole team.
There's 100 rules, and like if people don't understand that, then that's a shame on them, because everybody has a purpose. You have an AC pull and focus. You can have a person. You can hire me to shoot your video, and I'm out of focus on the big shot that you want to have, and that wouldn't have happened if I had an AC. You know what I mean? And then that footage got lost. So then you didn't have a second AC that dumped the footage. And then who knows? It applies to every department, and it's important that everybody, like, their workload is, like, the stress is to a minimum on their end.
Did you always have that mindset of like wanting to like always work with a crew, or did it just start off like you doing this by yourself, and then you like got not burnt out, but like stressed out, like it's got to be a way kind of thing?
I work in reality TV full time, so I work with a crew every day, and every TV job I do, I work with a crew, so it's just familiar with me. And I think my very first music video ever was a friend of mine. He goes by Distinct, and he asked me for a music video, and I remember it's just me and my friend shooting the whole thing. It was just me with the camera and my friend like helping out, and it was like, oh my god, I don't have this person doing this person doing that, and I did that for like a year or two, just me just by myself, and I was just like, wow, I need an editor, I need somebody who can light, I need somebody who can shoot better than I can, stuff like that, because like I shoot like reality TV, I don't shoot cinematic. So it was just like time for me to realize like, all right, you know what, I can outsource this to somebody else while I can like focus on the big picture. So I guess that's how that came about.
Gotcha. So by you being in reality TV, you already had that sense of like, okay, if you, like you say, you just used to working with a team, and then you just incorporated it.
Yeah, I just incorporated that, and the way that I think as a camera operator is different than what you'd see in a music video. I shoot like more live action, people talking, and I don't shoot something cinematic that's pre-lit and has like blocking points. It's just different world.
Man, that's something. So when an artist books you, they essentially booking your whole team. This is what comes with
it. Yep.
And so if an artist hits you up and they say, well, I don't think I need all that, I just want you, like, what do you say?
I recommend other people that I see doing something to them, because they'll help them out the best, and like I can't really help them out as much as I want to. I just can't like do something by myself. I just don't have the time to do it. The stress behind it, just me doing the shooting, editing, all the pre-planning, is just not worth it. And I want the opportunity to be with other people that either need it or want it.
What type of outside of local artists, have you ever worked with like any big name artists?
Yeah, I mean, I worked with artists here that had like big name features. I got shot with like Boozy and stuff like that. Shot Project Pat. I think Lil Toe is kind of up there. I got offered to 2 years ago, before COVID hit, shoot a video for an artist that was just about to blow up. Now they have blown up big time, so that's a big regret. I wish I got the opportunity to do that, but I didn't. But the offer is always on the table. Like, I have record labels I did 3 videos for like a subsidiary of a good record label, and every artist got their video, and then I don't know, they never like got anywhere with it. But I think it'd be really cool if like a record label reaches out to me, or I get some sort of like agent that can like represent my look and brand to other artists and see if they like it. But other than that, no. I mean, I'm hoping I get a nice little big break one of these days and work with somebody who's super big, and hopefully that'll pay off.
I remember with the Project Pat video, because you built the set in like a U-Haul and like drove down
the so Project Pat wouldn't come to the studio because I don't know, he had a busy day or something like that, I don't know, but he was like, oh, it's X amount of dollars if I come to you, or it's way cheaper if you come to me. So he was like staying in like downtown Indy somewhere, so we just rebuilt the set in a U-Haul, drove it to his hotel, and he came out and did it, and then that was it. But he was making all sorts of stops that day. He was like going to different studios doing features, and he played a show, like a little, like he did a show like middle of the day or something like that, and then it was hard to keep track of him, but he finally showed up and we did it. But it was stressful.
So the U-Haul situation, as far as like building the set, that wasn't a planned thing. Like that was like plan B. This is an alternative to get the shot.
That was pretty much plan A, because we wanted to do the video, but he didn't agree to come on the first shoot day. So obviously we had to get him in the video. So we decided to like on the first shoot day just shoot the set there and then just like take it out and put it in the U-Haul. Yeah, that's crazy that sounds, but
yeah, I know you got some pictures and all that.
Yeah.
So was he like impressed by what you all did?
He was. I think he was like 13 hours late, and so my whole crew was exhausted and bored, and everybody started drinking, and it was just like a whole thing. And he finally showed up, and he, Project Pat's an OG Memphis rapper, so he's just like paranoid of what's going on. He's like, oh, you want to meet in a empty parking lot in the U-Haul? Like, this sounds sketchy. So he like sent like his like people that he had with him there, and they checked it out, and they were like, all right, it's cool, and he came. But he was still kind of like he was like, I don't know, he sketched out, and then he finally came, and he was just like, all right, this is cool. And then he did like 4 or 5 takes, and then that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did he ever say like, man, I like what y'all do, I want to work with y'all? Like, nothing. No conversation like that.
No, Project Pat is always on like awesome sets and doing cool stuff. I think it was just like another stop in his day, but it was still a good experience. It was good, like learning how to build something in U-Haul, and it was a good experience, even though it was a long day and had to deal with many mad people. But
I remember, I think like I worked with this artist named T-Rail, and he signed to Nelly's label. And he's not like, super big or anything, but at the time when I first was getting started, he was about the biggest artist that I had, worked with. And I remember, the same situation, it was a feature, and we had to drive down here to Indianapolis. And the artist only paid me a small amount of money, probably like $600, something like that. And I'm like, okay. And we were supposed to shoot the video outside. It rained. Okay. And so I said, okay. Well, I was like, hell bent on making sure this video went well. I'm like, this is the opportunity. I'm like, I don't know what this could turn into, but I'm like, I'm gonna make sure that this gets done. So I called the studio and I found the place, and I paid for it like out of my pocket. I didn't tell the artist like, look, you gotta pay additional money or nothing like that.
No, you made it happen, because that shows kind of who you are, Man, you're here to make it happen.
Just like you, he was like 8 hours late. He on my time. He was like, He's gonna be here.
Yeah.
He's not. He's gonna be.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done, wasn't nobody left. And when by the
I
time
know.
he showed up, I had like 1 hour. Maybe it may have been like 30 minutes, but it was a small amount of time to like get all of those scenes that I needed. And when I was done, I got the picture I can show you. I'm drenched.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, drenched. I had to shot this whole video in 1 hour. I'll never forget that experience we had. I was like, man, I'm about to go. Before we had rented the studio, I'm like, man, this because we was waiting for like 4 hours before he even came. You know, so I know exactly what you mean. You know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but starting out, sometimes you be like naive, like thinking that artists and so forth come back and like you say, nah, this is just another stop in their day.
Yeah.
Thing. You know, but you still gotta be professional, still gotta be respectful and all of that stuff.
For sure.
You know? What's some of the things that you learned? Like, how do you conduct yourself, like with dealing with the labels and industry professionals and so forth, like?
I just make sure things are paid for. That's the big thing. I'm sick of paying out of pocket. And then the PR behind the video is super huge for me. Like, I might go down on price on something if there's like good like advertisement behind the video, or if there's good write-ups or anything. Like if you got a video that's like, oh, you know, well, you know, it's going to be on Rolling Stone magazine, you know, it's going to be on any, you know, on anything. Like, I would do it for a less rate just for that guaranteed press. You know, there's a couple videos I did that like in that same situation that went on World Star just because of that. And like a World Star placement's like, I mean, a couple years ago it was like $8,000 to put on their YouTube channel, you know. So I was like, all right, you know, it's worth it. And then like those videos have like 1 million views, you know. I'm not proud of like the artists or what I did, but like it was kind of cool to say that you had the video that went on World Star,
Right.
you know. But yeah.
Is it certain types of videos that you like don't like shooting? Like, man, like I don't want drugs in the video. Like are you a stickler about something?
No, the trashier the better for me, honestly. But
really?
yeah, I don't really care. But I'm really turned off if an artist is like, I have an EP or an album coming out and I want these 5 videos to like coincide with each other. I want the first one to come out and I want all of them to have like a similar like storyline plot. I was like, no, this is like, that's way too much. And I don't really think that like people pay attention that much unless it's like R. Kelly trapped in the closet. You know, it's like, I don't think you need to waste your time really doing that kind of stuff. I think you should like really focus on putting out EPs and putting all your money into like singles and having like, say you have 5 videos, it's 5 really strong, different looking videos to show like diversity in like your work, you know.
So when you tell them stuff like that, do they like take your professional opinion, or they be like, nah, this is what
I don't think things have really ever gotten to that point where like we're going back and forth in convo like that. If somebody like reaches out and they write like a message this long, like with these ideas, like I'll just recommend somebody else and just say I'm sorry. But I don't know. It's just my big thing is like my big goal is to listen to an artist I really like and come up with a treatment and then pitch it to them. And that's the ultimate, that's the dream goal. You know, I'm not really hungry for an artist to come to me with an idea but I'm, you know, I can be sold on something if like I like the artist. But yeah, my ultimate goal in life is to like make a treatment of somebody I like listening to and then like agreeing on it and then making it happen. That's kind of where I'm at now.
So who's like the ultimate artist that you would like want to work with? Like, I cannot leave this earth unless I work with this artist.
That's so hard. I don't know.
That man.
Yeah, that's so hard. My brain automatically just like
went.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So we talked a lot of just about video production,
Mm-hmm.
but we haven't talked too much about like the business side of things.
Right.
So let's talk about that. So business wise, like how do you build the structure to do what you do?
So, my 9 to 5 every day, I work as a freelance camera operator. I'm in the camera department just for reality TV. But if I get reached out to do a bid for a commercial or just a lower production, I'll just send an estimate, and that estimate includes, location scouting, my rate as a producer, director, my DP's rate, gear rental, and then audio is needed, gaffer is needed, and then go from there. And then if they need me to go check out a location, I go there, and that's a location scout. That's a separate rate. There's all that stuff. If it's somebody that, I guess it really depends on the project, though. It's hard to answer that question because I get reached out to on a agency level, but also get reached out to for a local business level, which obviously I wouldn't include these fees for. But if it's local business that has a good brand, good their product's good, stuff like that, then obviously I'll just go down on price for that. But it's hard because people don't understand what goes into making a production. A lot of people are into hiring a one-man band, and it's a blessing and a curse because it's a blessing if you can do all that stuff and do the work, but it's also a curse if you're a company and you want to make the same kind of product but hire 3 or 4 people instead of 1 person. So it's hard.
So how does one go from making that transition from being that one man band show, the person let's say videographer's watching this, videographer.
Mm-hmm.
I caught that Milky videographer. But let's say he's watching this and they're tired of doing the one man band show, and they want to work as as a team, actually run a production company. What do they have to do to put that in place to actually run as a company?
They need to document themselves in a way that proves that what they do is amazing, which is doing a production and showing every single step. Meet my gaffer, meet my audio guy, meet my DP. This is my company, and showing that you're a full unit, you're a whole team, and this is why you should put your money into me. That's really it.
What's so do you have a lawyer, CPAs, anything like that to help structure some of these different deals or keep you intact when it comes to this?
I just do all that myself, but yeah, I just do that myself.
So you handle all of that type of stuff yourself?
Yeah, I have an accountant, but that's just for my own stuff, but not really business wise. If I have a quote, it's just a number, and then if they need it broken down, it'll be broken down. But it's just, yeah. I think now, from the work I've done, you can see that, there's upwards of 10 people working on the things I do. And so, they know what they're paying for at that point.
Do you find yourself having to, help people to understand, the value and what they're paying for? Let's say they contact you and they say, well, I don't want 20 people on set. I got $1,000.
Yeah.
Well, you would say that you would refer them to somebody else. But,
I do.
But do you find yourself having to explain why the price is so much, why this is so valuable?
I just let my work do the talking for me. But like I said, if somebody does go that route and they're I'm not trying to do that, I don't need this person, I always make sure I never leave them on red. I always recommend people, and always recommend if people even need help with finding a location or finding a certain crew member, I'll just be here are these people, and I do that, for free, and they can use that and hopefully like make their production cheaper or do whatever they need to do, so they don't have to spend the money that they don't want to spend. Yeah.
What would you say is the best part of being an entrepreneur and doing what you do?
I like seeing the positive response in a music video world. I like seeing like going to shows after a video drops. I like going to premieres. I like seeing the comments and just any positive response that comes from something that I helped to make, because that's the goal. Is like I work with these artists that either I have faith in or they've helped me some way in my life, and I just want to return the favor. And so I just want to make sure that they're good and have something that they can use to like benefit their career.
And why is that? And why is that so important to you to make sure that they have something that can actually benefit their careers versus just like?
I'd say most of the point, either they help me, whether they're like their music helped me, or if they helped anything that I had going on. Like if I had a personal favor, if I did like any kind of fundraising and they like threw down some money on it, anything. I just want to make sure that I return the favor, and if they do end up getting any sort of recognition for this thing, I would just feel relieved. This is a good feeling, seeing people like succeed, and you had some like minor part in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a good feeling to help somebody and know that you was part of the reason why they having some success.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just music video stress is a little different because I can definitely handle it more, but I just think working under stress makes you work harder and faster, and you'll make something good out of it as long as you like overcome that stress.
What's some like books that you have like read to like help better?
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm not a reader.
No, what about audiobooks then?
No, I'm not. I'm not even. I wish I was.
So why not? Like you just
I just
don't have the time, just don't care. I don't know.
I think it's a little bit of both. I don't have the time, nor I don't care. If I have any time, I'll just like watch a show. I just do things to take my mind off of my work or anything like that, and that's like my like happy place. I think my time to decompress.
How do you feel about like with the artists like with smoking on set and so forth? Like, does that bother you? But like,
no, I'm okay with everything as long as like the place I'm at allows smoking or anything. Totally fine.
What about like security then? Do you hire security when you do these?
I've hired security a few times, but that was only because I had to for contract stuff, and then never hired security just for my own sake or anything like that. But it's definitely a different vibe for sure if you hire security.
Yeah.
At least you feel a little better, but also it's just like, why am I doing this? But yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to just hire security.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes when you gotta hire security, that may not be the type of environment you like.
What's your security story?
I don't really have no like security. Like my security is my Glock.
Yeah.
My Glock, like that's my security. But I don't really have like no security or anything. Sometimes like if I do a shoot like guerrilla style, like I have done like some guerrilla style shoots in the hood or whatnot, and for my own personal safety, I bring somebody to make sure, because
sure.
I can't be in the camera and look behind my back to make sure.
Yeah.
And and I come out with $1,000 worth of equipment. You know, but the difference between like now and then is that I didn't have my stuff insured, and so that was part of the reason why I felt like I had to protect myself. But when I thought about it, like after I became more successful and got around like other entrepreneurs, like, just insure your gear, and if something happens, you just make a phone call and you get a check.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, you know, just smarten up and you know, moving better, you know. But when you don't have like people to pull on like yourself to like get this information, you know, you just walking through this video production like just bumping your head, just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know? Do you spend like a lot of time like mentoring like up and coming shooters that's like in India or other places?
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely done that for a lot of people. And then if artists or artist managers have any questions, like I make sure, as long as they're like cool and they ask me like a normal question, I'll just respond and help them out however I can, whether it's, like I said earlier, like locations or hiring crew or anything. I just want to make sure that people have at least a stepping stone to like get started on their production. I don't want to ever just like, you know, turn my back and, you know, be like cold hearted and be like, nope, figure it out yourself.
Right.
Because like, if somebody did that to me when I first started and gave me an opportunity to like make my first video, I'd be like thankful for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I remember getting my first opportunities to like shoot videos, and, you know, my buddy.
Yeah, it's exciting. You're like, all right, here it goes. Here's the start of it, you know?
Yeah, that's how it was for me. My buddy invited me out on a set. At the time I was rapping, he's like, come to a cameo. He didn't tell me he was shooting a video himself, but, you know, I still came out though. And he was like, man, could you, you know, get behind the camera and hit the record button, man? I was like, yeah, okay. And it's like, as soon as I got behind that camera, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
I would look in the viewfinder and I did like this. Viewfinder, did like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, man, I like the reality that's in this camera versus like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I could change the world through this lens.
I love that.
Yeah,
Good.
So I've been doing
Well, that's a good story then.
Yeah.
That makes me happy because, like, yeah, a lot of people like don't even take the video stuff for granted. I also think like a lot of artists can like really take advantage of having their own camera and shooting their own stuff. It's kind of like what you said, so they can learn and apply that to like either hiring somebody out or shooting, like hiring somebody or bring somebody on like to shoot something to their vision. So
I think it's kind of like when it comes down to artists, sometimes I think it's kind of like a waste of time unless you had a passion to like truly do this. You know what I mean? Like if you don't, because I mean me and you, like we passionate about what we do. So I mean we can spend hours and hours and hours researching cameras and the right lens and lights and got schooling and trial and error. And I mean it's like if you're not willing to do that, like it's not worth it just for you to save a couple $100, a few $1,000s. It's like if you're not passionate about it, if it's not your strong suit, if it's not something you want to wake up and do for the rest of your life, like drive to Kentucky for $100, like you know I did in the beginning. Like,
yeah, everybody did that in the beginning, but you got to apply that to what you do, man. Like, oh, like how much your tripod costs, how much your lens costs, you know, like how much time, how many hours is the edit going to take? You got to like apply all that to your rate, you know. And if they don't understand that, then it's just not a person you should be dealing with it, you know.
Right.
But I don't know.
Did you always have like your ideal client in mind? Like, you know what, this type of people I want to work with, or was you?
It's always changing.
It's always.
Yeah. So besides like artists and stuff, like I produced a popular YouTube show, and that came out of the blue, and then I then immediately did like a promo thing for the Pacers. And then, you know, so it's like we're in different walks of life and seeing how they interact with, like, you know, me being the, you know, the video person, you know, and so I never thought I'd be doing that kind of stuff, but here I am. And then obviously the reality TV stuff I do every day. It's just, I'm thankful to be working with different walks of life every day, you know. Yeah.
Did you go to college for this?
I did. I went to art school.
Art school.
Yeah, and then for photography, and then I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and they put me under for it because my teeth are like so like sunken in, and they're like, "What do you go to school for?" And I was like, "I go to art school," and they all laughed. and they were like freaking out. And then that's the last thing I remember before getting put under. And I woke up and I decided, you know what, I'm going to double major in video. So I did video production, and then the year or 2 months after I graduated, I got my first job on a TV show as like a production assistant, and then from then worked my way up.
You went to art school, so when it comes to treatments, then that means you drawing them up yourself then.
Mostly written out. Yeah, I don't really storyboard that much.
No, so you're not a visual person then. So you more type heavy when you put these.
I'm visual in my head. Like I can do like photo references, like taking stuff off like different photographs taken and stuff like that. But I don't really draw anything out. More writing and then photo reference, or I'll go and take my own photos.
Wow. See, I'm more like photo heavy and like taking screenshots and.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm doing that, you know.
Oh, you doing that? Okay, so
yeah.
I'm thinking like you.
I'm seeing stuff I like and I screen grab it or take photos of it and be like, all right, similar to this, you know.
I'm thinking you saying like you got a whole like a script or something. I'm like, man, the artist reading that stuff.
No.
But they got short attention spans today.
No, maybe like two to four sentence kind of treatment, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
like one liner.
You don't want to put that much into it if you don't know how it's going to bite, you know.
So do you do the treatment first before you get paid or after?
Before, yeah.
So is it like, so what you do, like they got to pay you like a retainer fee to do the treatment, and if they like it, then they pay
if they do the treatment, and then the pay happens after that, you know. Because they could take that treatment and, you know, I keep the treatment vague because if I supply anything else, then they can just take that and then they can hire somebody else to do it. You know what I mean? So I'll just keep it kind of vague. Or I'll do like a Zoom call or something and I'll show my references and that's that. Or I'll do something. I preferably like do it in person or FaceTime, something like that. But so it's just like one and done. They've seen it. They can talk about it later. Just so like they can't like record it, do anything like that. I don't know. This is how it is. It's cutthroat out there.
Yeah. I feel you.
I would hate that like you come up with a video and you're like really super stoked to like shoot it and then somebody just like takes it, you know?
Taking your property. So stuff like that, do you like copyright, like intellectual property kind of thing?
No, because they're all basic treatments. They're not one of a kind. You know what I mean? Anybody can do a game show video. Anybody can do a car riding video. You know, I don't know what you can copyright besides the music.
Right, man. I don't know. It's your thoughts, your ideas.
Yeah.
I want to protect.
For sure.
Yeah.
You want to protect your stuff for sure.
Yeah.
When I did that Jeopardy video, like the Baby and all those guys did a video, like the Throat Goat remix video, and it was all like a green screen, like game show thing. And it was exact same colors, exact same everything for my video. And I had like 2 other music video directors that were like of my caliber, that were like, you know, under 10,000 followers from different parts of the country, reach out to me and be like, oh, that director follows me, and they like took my things, you know. And it's like, oh, that sucks. But, you know, this is how it's going to be if you don't have the right legal backing. I'm sure it's an arm and a leg.
So do you ever refer them to like you're a lawyer or anything, like when those?
I mean, I don't have a lawyer or anything.
No.
It's just what shit happens kind of thing, you know. Nothing you can do. I didn't come up with the game show like Jeopardy, you know. I just like borrowed elements from it.
Right.
So it's not like a one of a kind. If it was a one of a kind thing, it'd be like way deeper. But it wasn't. It was just a fun video that just sadly got seen and copied, you know. But it's a weird thing. It sucks. It sucks that happened, but it's alright. I'm really not worried. The big part is like I'm happy that people of like that higher caliber have seen my work and like took inspiration from it. So you gotta think of the positives.
Gotta think of the positive versus the
Yeah,
negative.
yeah. No point in just like sitting around being negative all day. It's not good for the health.
Right. I totally agree. Yeah, definitely got to be in good health. So I mean, especially with working on sets, I know you got to be in the gym. You know, taking some turmeric shots or something.
And it's just carrying a camera all day.
You just carry the camera.
Yeah, the camera's like 50 pounds. You know, just holding out on your shoulder rig.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, walking around, running, grabbing batteries, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a workout.
Yeah, I already knew. I probably lost a couple pounds a day for sure.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Rebuilding this room and yeah.
You gotta put it all back.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be the sucky part right there.
What's your best video experience you've had?
My best video experience is when GT Films he threw a contest, and I don't know if you ever heard of him.
No.
So
Tell me who that is.
So GT Films, he's a music video director. He's based out of Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
but he works like with like Moneybagg Yo. He works with Black Youngster a whole.
Okay.
He shot quite a few of Black Youngster videos. He shot some stuff for 42 Dub. You just shoot a lot of music videos for like the celebrities and whatnot.
So one of my buddies that does a lot of my BTS, he's like Moneybagg Yo's like tour videographer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like 6 months out of the year that dude's just working with him.
Just 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
So what type of experience is that?
Just run and gun, handheld, and then like living on the bus and like shooting and cutting the thing every day on every show. Being like, oh, Moneybagg played indie, and then recap video. And do that every city and like plus anything else, you know.
Does that pay well?
I hope so.
You know
You know what I mean?
Man.
But you're getting put up, so I know they probably use that as like part of the bargain, you know. It's like we're paying for you to live on this bus, you know, so we're paying your room and board. So I don't know. But you know that whatever Moneybagg Yo's doing besides shows, whether it's like autograph signing, like video feature stuff, he's got to be there and shoot BTS of it. So I don't know. I hope that it's worth it. I hope it's fun. I mean, he gets to travel, and I'm sure the stories behind traveling across country are fun. And being a single guy, you know, not like a family guy. I'm sure it's a different life, you know.
He in his 20s.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he probably love that. I mean, especially if he really like Moneybagg and the music and all that. I'm sure that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I just don't really care for that stuff. Like,
for sure.
You just got a budget for me. At the end of the day, like, I don't care about having no picture next to you. That's cool. I could utilize that. It will help my brand.
Yeah.
But that is not gonna be no selling point to get me to come with you for no 6 months. Like, I feel like I got almost more bad stories about the history that I do anything. But my best experience though was working with GT Film. He threw a contest and he was like, yo, whoever win the contest, you get to come down to Atlanta and you get to shoot a music video at Studio Space Atlanta. And then, you know, he'll help you on set, show you some techniques or whatnot. And so I just did it. I wasn't thinking nothing of it. It seemed like that year I won quite a few contests. It seemed like I won his. I won some stuff that like Joe Moore did. But that was the biggest one though. And so after I won the contest, it was like, okay, now I got to get to Atlanta. But during that time, I think I was still working a job. I didn't have no money, you know what I'm saying? You know, robbing people to pay Paul type stuff.
Yeah.
And so I hit up some artists. I'm like, hey, you know, got this opportunity to go down to Atlanta, blase, you know, but I tell them they got to cover the trip. I'm like, you know, the studio is paid for because that was part of the contest. He was going to pay for the studio. I just had to get there, and then I had to bring my own artist. Well, I didn't almost even have to bring my own artist. He was saying he could provide the artist if I just got there. But I didn't have the money to get there, so I was like, well, I got to get the artist to bring them so I could get there.
Yeah.
And but that didn't work out. You know how artists be, they flaked out at the last minute, said they was gonna do it and didn't. And so and at this time some said ask for mentorship. And I didn't even know what I was really asking for at that time. So I was like, I hit up his manager, which was his wife, Melissa, at the time. I mean, not at the time, because he still is married to Melissa. And I'm like, yo, could I get a mentorship? And she was like, let me ask him, but I don't see why it'd be a problem. And so she was like, yeah, he said, you know, he'll be your mentor. And then from there, we was just talking, we would talk on the phone. And I'll never forget the first time I called him on the phone. And he just said like in a private way or nothing, but he was just like letting me know like how much money he could make. He's like, man, I just left the money bag your shoe. And he was like, man, I just got paid $50,000 for that. And he was like, and then I shot some music videos for local artists. And he didn't put no value to that. But I'm guessing if Moneybag paid him 50, I'm guessing like, yo, the little people gotta be paying him at least 5,000. Like, cause I wouldn't go out for like, you know what I'm saying? So and then after that, I went to Atlanta on some business to like shoot some videos and stuff for some clients. He was like, man, I told him I was in the city. He was like, man, pull up on me. He gave me the address, gave me the time. He didn't say what I was gonna do. He just said pull up. I was like, cool. I was just happy to, be invited by him, a person like him. And I get there, it's this big mansion, all foreign cars in the driveway, and there's models in there, and then it was a YFN Lucci in there, OMB Peasy was in there, Youngin and Ace was in there, and then they got like the big lights and like the cameras and the director's monitors, and I was just like, wow, because at that point, that was the biggest that I had ever been on in my life, and that was just like motivating to just be hanging around, those people, and that just let me know like, man, this stuff is really attainable, like you really work hard and network and build the right relationships and then like serve. I feel like that'd be the biggest thing that put me in the position that I'm in, is that like you give, but I just say serve, just serving people and just going the extra mile. Like while I was there, went and got waters and stuff like that. I passed waters out, be a blessing, because I like to, I was like, shoot, I want to be able to come back.
Yeah.
And like sometimes
doing that good work and like having that good attitude though, you always get a call back,
Mm-hmm.
Like who did that? Who gave me that water when I needed that water the most?
Mm-hmm.
And then a little goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Especially just having that positive mentality on set.
Mm-hmm. I know one of the things I had did while I was there, that day, it just so happened that it was his wife's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it in the calendar in my phone. And I said, remind me every year. And so like clockwork, every year, my phone go off and say, it's, Miss GT Film's birthday. And then I'll cash out her some money. I'll hit up her husband first and be like, oh, I just cash out him. And then I hit up her husband. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, hey, bro, I just sent your wife some money for her birthday. Not that he a trip, but it's just the respectful thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, And like every year, I just do it. I just make like mental notes. Like I found out it was Jay Damage's birthday. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
No.
He's on the podcast. He does a little video, but he's mainly a graphic designer though. He said it was his birthday. I put that in my phone to make sure, you know what I mean? So like being intentional, going out of your way to make, stuff like that. And it may seem small to you, but it's like, man, sometimes that go a long way. You might have been the only person that told him happy birthday or sent him something.
Yeah.
So like just getting out of self and just, being intentional, like finding ways like how can I be a blessing to this person despite what my situation is.
That's great.
That's pretty much my
being on that huge set though. I mean, that's life changing. It's like you're just like, oh man, this is what life can be if you want it to be.
I think we all got those stories of when like our life changed or like this was like one of those things that helped me. I got a lot of those. So I'm definitely appreciative of every opportunity that I've ever gotten to do anything, because I could be working the 9 to 5 right now. Like I'm full time. Like I have no desire to go and work for anybody else. Like I'm going. Like I gotta be like dead broke. No, because I'm exhausting every resource, every relationship I got before I go back and work a 9 to 5 job. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And no shade nobody who actually does, but it's like me personally, like I just can't do it. I was raised my whole life to be an entrepreneur, but back then we called it hustling, but now it's an entrepreneur. But I'm real big on that. Like I just can't go back. You know, if I go back, it's to donate, to help out, to give back, but not because I want to, work a job. I like being an entrepreneur. I like that sense of pride. I like that sense of that ownership. I like being a boss. I like when people call me a boss. I like carrying myself as a boss. I like doing boss stuff. You know what I mean? So it's addictive in a sense, being an entrepreneur almost. And it's not easy, as you know, always, trying to balance this stuff out, especially when you're trying to grow. It's not always easy. It's stressful sometimes trying to figure it out and expand and so forth. The biggest thing that helped me was just reading books. Books is mental. I spend a lot of money on books, audio books, regular books. When I go to the bookstore, I spend nothing less than $1,000 when I go.
God.
I walk out of there like this every rip. They know me by name when I walk in the store, and I go straight to the entrepreneurship section, and I just pick out every book. When I had a conversation like this, if you would have told me, yo man, I read this book about, as soon as we got done, I would have went and bought it, like audio book or Amazon Prime it.
That's wild. I'm happy about that. Because you usually decompress like reading that stuff.
You say, do I decompress?
Like you're in your happy place when you're reading, and it's like kind of out of your element, and you're like just absorbing stuff, and
man,
you're just at peace.
I'm at peace because I'm just learning and I'm growing, and I'm so passionate about like wanting to help other people, especially with entrepreneurship. And the only way that I can help them is that I gotta constantly be growing and constantly developing myself, and I want to put my family in a better position. And like for me, like the only way to do it is to like give with mentors and read books and so forth. You know what I mean? So, but it's rough at first because like I was probably considered retarded at school or something coming up. I didn't read. It took a long time for me before I could actually read. Like I couldn't read, and then one day I could read out of nowhere. One day I just picked up the book and I could read. Almost like Forrest Gump had those braces on his leg, and one day he could just run, and that was like me. One day I could just read. So I'm passionate about helping people, especially those who's been told that have learning disabilities or have problems with like math or whatever. Like it's no excuse. Like so, I started a nonprofit called Gifted Genius Foundation, where we help individuals like that who want to be entrepreneurs. So
that's great.
Not making no excuses. Like just being passionate, wanting to help people grow, like you.
That's all in South Bend?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I have a lot of stuff going on, man. Like
You got all sorts of tricks up your sleeve.
Yeah, man. But everything that I do is either around media or entrepreneurship. It's just simple as that. Like I'm really passionate about seeing other people win, because I remember when I quit my job and I really wanted to make six figures and get $5,000 clients and shoot for these brands, but like not knowing how to do it though. Like how do I carry myself? Do I need a polo shirt? How do I email? Do I really need to pay for a business email? Like
right.
And just doing these things, so every dollar I get, I invest it. I think the biggest thing that helped me is I stopped investing in gear. I mean, I invest in gear, honestly, but I stopped putting emphasis on that. And I said, okay, if I truly want to be a successful video production company, then I have to stop focusing on so much on gear. And it's kind of like what you said. It's like, building that team and hiring this person, that person. And I said, why am I trying to be a one-man band show so I can keep all the money? That's retarded. That's not the smart move. The smart move is build your brand up so that you can charge more money, and then just hire the people that you need and make sure everybody eat, and then you take some of the money and not being greedy. Like if you get a $5,000 job and you could walk away with $1,500 and the rest you use to hire crew, and they essentially doing all of the work and all you doing is a few pieces, I think that's a fair trade. You know what I mean? But in the beginning, wasn't looking at it like that was looking at like, man, I got to get all this money, for myself until I smart enough. It's like, no, I got to figure out a way to work, as a team and getting mentors is another big thing. Taking the business side of stuff serious. I stopped worrying about light composition and the lighting and the composition and the audio and the lens and that, because these companies get you so caught up in being a consumer that to the point that you don't even realize it. And so I said, I need to learn sales. So I took the time out and I started taking sales courses. I started buying sales books. I started purposely, intentionally going out to finding people that's actually in sales. Like one of my mentors worked with like Warren Buffett and like taught him some things and so forth. He's an older guy too, and older guys like all that knowledge and wisdom. He want to share that with somebody. Let me take you out to coffee, and he sit there. He'll tell me about sales, all the secret stuff that worked for back then, and all that stuff still work. Learning about marketing, learning how to carry yourself as an actual business, and just taking that money and investing it into the company as far as growing the brand like that versus trying to just buying the latest camera gear. Because I feel like sometimes as videographers, we get caught up with trying to impress people, especially in the beginning with like, yo, I got this new camera, I got the new lights, the new, the clout, so to speak, like trying to impress other creatives. And that stuff is okay for what it is, but it's like, your client don't care about that. Your client don't know that camera costs you 50 bands. Your client don't know the difference between 6K, 4K, 8K, 1080p, or 720. They just know when something look good. They don't know if the ISO is jacked up and it's too grainy and the white balance. They don't know about all that. They just want to know if this video gonna convert over into sales. Can you sit down with a client and explain to them how can they get a return on their investment? They don't want to be wild with all of that. I mean, the one I never forget, my teacher, he told me, he was like, man, you gotta learn how to speak the lingo of like when you talking to professionals, like understand like the business language and understand how to, get them what they want and learning how to charge. Like I stopped charging like $500, $600, $300. I charge based upon the value in which I'm giving. So in the return, so it's like, okay, yeah, I can shoot your video for $500, but if I shoot that video for you and they make $500,000, that wasn't a fair return for me.
Right.
So maybe like 150,000, $250,000 may be fair. You know what I'm saying? Because I helped generate that money, my skills, my talent, my team. We brought all of this to the table. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I move. So like for instance, I say if you want a music video by me, my starting rate is $5,000. Like it's no 600. It's $5,000 because I want to do it like this and make sure we have the proper things. And that's still low, But that's what I feel that my value is. That if you run a music video for me, if not, other than that, it's other people that you can go to. I tell people I would truly rather spend my time. If you can't pay me my true value, I'd rather just spend my time at home just reading books or watching the course, spending time with my family or having conversations like this, like doing the podcast. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not worth it. Like, my time is just too valuable. That's the only thing in life that you can't go and buy.
Right.
I ain't even talking so long.
No, you're fine. I use a lot of lost in translation too, and people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna I'll shoot this in 4K." It doesn't really matter because everything's gonna be 1080 when you watch it on your phone or on TV.
Right.
You're never gonna pay for a 4K thing.
Right.
If you're doing green screen comp or something animations that require 4K, great. But it doesn't really matter. I see a lot of people doing that as a selling point, and it's just it's good if people buy it, then great. But it doesn't really matter. Really YouTube's automatically plays the 720. So it doesn't really. It's so weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
on your phone.
Right.
But yeah, it's a weird world out there.
Man, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Man, thanks for coming on and being a part, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Man, keep being great. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you. You do the same.